Hello, everybody, and welcome to BATTLECHASERS Night War. It's fun RPG turn-based game. I thought it'd be pretty cool to let everyone see.
Years have passed since the great warrior and leader of men, Aramis, vanished. Left behind were his mighty gauntlets, artifacts of untold power, giving their wielder the strength to move mountains, as the stories were told. Also left behind was his daughter, Gully. She discovered her father's gauntlets, setting in motion the events that would make her a target of great importance, and bring her into the company of her greatest defenders. Nolan, the wise and mighty wizard, whose tongue is as sharp as his wit. His mysterious companion, Calibretto, a war golem of immense power. Garrison, a swordsman, once brother-in-arms to Aramis, now sworn to protect his only living kin. And the rogue, Red Monica, who can be foe as quickly as friend. Together, they have traveled the capital lands while defending Gully from those who seek the power of her gauntlets for themselves. Nolan, on a personal quest to learn more about mana, which fuels the world's magic and technology, has led the group towards a mysterious landmass known as the Crescent Isle. There, vast reserves of mana were once rumored to exist. As they approach the island, they quickly discover why so little is known about the area.
Everyone hang on!
What are you waiting for? Shoot back!
With what? It's a stealth ship.
This is stealth?
Just do something.
It's always on me, ain't it? These kids don't know how easy they've got it.
We're being boarded!
Gully, get below deck.
You break easier than I do, remember?
More incoming, port side!
Oh no!
Gully, what?
Gully,
I've got you. All right, Red. Looks like it's just me and, figures.
So the only thing that's really kind of weird plot-wise is that in the last scene they were all together. Now they're apart. Someone there's a campfire there. She doesn't know where they are. It's kind of weird, but it's whatever. I didn't pay much mind to it. So, other than this game just being beautifully done, it's very, like I said, very story-driven. A lot of dialogue, a lot of fun.
You're all right.
yes. Are you feeling better? You've been resting for a few hours.
I guess I wasn't completely prepared for that cannon blast. Was I dreaming or did you leap off the ship to catch me?
I did.
How'd we make it down in one piece?
Nolan. We fell through a portal he opened, placing us on the ground with only minor injuries.
Then what happened to him?
We don't know.
And Garrison? Monica?
Garrison fell through the portal as well. Monica appears to be missing, along with Nolan.
Then let's get moving. They could be hurt.
Garrison already went ahead to search for them. Are you sure you're well enough to move?
I'm so woozy, but we don't have any time to waste. I'll be fine.
First, allow me to further heal your wounds. Then we will meet Garrison.
So my theory is that when they fell through, Goalie got knocked unconscious, and then Garrison went to go look for some safe area or scout ahead, and then Calibretto went after him like seconds before Goalie woke up. Yeah, so as we're approaching our first battle, I always forget that chest. So this game doesn't really have like secrets, but like if you miss it, it's pretty out of the way. Like this treasure chest right here. I mean, it's not much, but it's something that will help us early in the game. Gold, though, isn't like the biggest thing to worry about. There's really like maybe 2-3 major purchases in the game with gold, and even then, it's not like a huge like issue. So as we're approaching the first battle, there is a sequence right here who is going next, and then who the enemy is, who we are, our abilities. So there's actions, abilities, items, and then you can flee as well. So actions are free. Their goal will be instant. Their goal will be on our same turn, just like this one did. So abilities, though, they have a time. So see, this one's very fast. So since we are faster than our enemy, we'll go before them. But since this ability is slower, then we go after the enemy. Then we have our items. You can either use a item or you can use a action or ability. So let's go and do actions first, which will create our overcharge. So just like any RPG game, health, mana, and we have a support, we have a tank, and we're going to get our damage later on in the next like 2-3 fights, something like that. And then, so we have health, we have mana, and then we have overcharge right here. So overcharge is kind of like extra or free mana, essentially. So, as you can see, there's a cap to it. We have 130 mana, but then the extra 20 is where the 150 is coming from. So, Goalie, our main tank, has 10 right now. Scatter Shot costs 10. So, this deals damage to an enemy plus a nearby enemy. So if there's only one enemy, we're not going to use that. We're just going to continue jabbing. So, that was our first fight. Pretty simple, it was just against a slime. And depending on how well you do, if you get perfect, if you do 1 turn, 1 kill, if you do get a triple kill, something like that, you can get more experience. So, there's a few more things. We can switch between characters on a whim. And then there's dungeon abilities, and then we have our regular abilities, combat abilities. So, our skills, each character has a different skill. They have a passive and they have a dungeon skill. They have 2 dungeon skills, actually. Caliberto's passive skill is 10% increasing healing power, and he has a small heal to the party. Goalie's is 10% damage reduction, that's why she's our main tank, and Ground Smash, which briefly stuns all nearby enemies, and the stun carries over combat. So when we enter combat, they're still stunned for 1 turn. And also breaks down weak walls. So weak walls are walls that, as you can see in dungeons, are ones that are crumbling. You can go in them. After you break them down, you get like free items, because there's usually a chest behind there. Then we have our combat abilities. And then a little biography of them, and equipment as well. So everyone gets a weapon, piece of armor, ring, neck, and a trinket. The weapons change, whatever our weapons are, but the armor stays the same no matter what. So if we get a new weapon, her hands will change. If we get a new cannon, his arm is going to change. So we got health, mana, stamina, will, attack power, physical defense, magic defense, crit, haste, and evade. So the higher haste we have, the higher we go in the sequence of turns, and the more often we can go. Crit is increase on damage and healing. Evade is your chance to have attacks miss you. Magical defense reduces magical damage taken, i.e. dots, damage over times, fireballs, arcane missiles, frost bolts, that kind of thing. Anything magical. Physical defense is a physical attack against you, so like a gunshot, a sword attack, being jabbed, being punched in the face, stuff like that. That reduces damage taken. Attack power is actually interesting, so that increases the damage you do and also the power of your shield, your healing, and like I said, damage you do as well. So the higher your attack power, the higher your heals will go for, the more shielding you'll get, everything. It contributes to everything, essentially. Will increases your mana. It does increases your magical damage done, it just increases your mana pool. Stamina increases your health pool. That's pretty simple. Probably the most simple stat in the game. We want Goalie to have a lot of haste, a lot of defense, and a lot of attack power. Will, not so much. Callie, we want a little bit more mana, a little bit more stamina. We want Callie to have more well-rounded stats. So a good amount of crit, haste, evade, defense, attack power, will, stamina, all that stuff. Because he's our support, so we want him to be as well-rounded as possible. Our damage dealers, however, we want them to have haste, crit, and attack power. Not so much defense, because we want them to basically one-turn kill things, or at least do so much damage that they just die on their next turn. So we have a pretty good map here. The next area we're going to go to is actually going to be right here. We'll activate the teleporters. The arena we're not really going to go into until after level 10. And here's our main town hub. All of our quests, all of our blacksmithing, alchemy, enchanting, side quests, all that fun stuff. And then our first dungeon, like I said, is going to be right here. Second dungeon is actually be over here, and then over here, order events. So, nothing really over there, so that's some supplies. So since it's on normal, and it's a pretty easy playthrough on normal, we're going to do as many fights as possible. So let's see, so we got Veil Scout's Tunic, increased defense, increased stamina, minus attack power. Right now I'll be taking that. Yeah. The order really doesn't matter on what happens. I mean, Gold can be in front, Brother can be in front, Garrison in front, doesn't matter who's in front. So as you can see, we only get the name of enemies. We don't get any stat information, not until we get our journal. And you also, even after you get the journal, you don't get information until you kill a certain amount of that type of enemy too. So until we kill, I think it's like between like 5 and 10 enemies of that type, we don't get any information on who or what it is, or even what abilities that they can cast. small overview on their abilities. So actions, like I said, are free. Usually done within the same turn. That's where they're instant. No, it deals moderate damage, it generates an overcharge, and everyone has a different kind of overcharge generator. Everyone has different defense ability. Everyone has really well-rounded and different abilities. No two abilities are the same. Well, work the same, I would say. So, goalie has jam, deals no moderate damage, generates an overcharge, then defend, reduces all damage taken by 50%. Abilities is scatter shot for right now, deals 14 damage and then 6 damage to nearby enemy. And protections places a damage shield and an ally that absorbs 27 damage. So pretty small numbers right now, but later on, you know, they're like 100, 200 shielding, damage, all that stuff, because we'll be a lot stronger too. Gut Punch is going to be one of our main support abilities right now. Deals moderate damage and applies the Sunder effect. So the Sunder effect increases physical damage taken by 10% for 3 turns and generates 10 overcharge. So the Sunder effect increases physical damage taken by 10%. So you can have multiple instances of different abilities on enemies. So let's say Callie has a Sunder and Goalie has a Sunder. Since it's 2 different Sunder's abilities, it's not a static amount, it is a flat amount. So it would be 10% stacking, and it's with 2, so it'll be 20% damage taken.
Gully, I'm glad you're alright. What you did during the airship battle, shielding the cannon blast.
You would have done the same for me.
Maybe, but with messier results. You're a brave kid, but remember, we don't fully understand the power of your father's gauntlets. You have to be more careful with them.
I had no choice.
No, I guess not.
I believe he was trying to thank you. Have you found any sign of Monica or Nolan?
I haven't. And this village looks long abandoned. There are lights on the horizon. To the east. Might be a town.
We should investigate. If they survived, they likely headed that direction.
What do you mean, if? Nolan saved us. He can save himself. And Monica, too.
You're probably right. Let's go find them.
Oh, now we have Garrison. Garrison's going to be one of our main damage dealers, along with Monica. Alright, so Garrison, he is a swordsman, warrior, I guess, by D&D classes. Fighter, I guess is actually more appropriate, fighter with a sword. So we have Swift Strike, deals a little bit more damage, 21 damage, generates 15 overcharge. And Parry reduces all damage taken by 40%, and if attacked while active, Garrison's attack power will increase by 5% for 1 turn. It's not a lot, but hey, 5 extra attack power. His abilities are Cleave, Rally Strike, and Warblade. So Cleave, it deals moderate damage to a target, and then also that same damage to another enemy. Rally Strike deals a little bit more damage, 34 damage, it increases haste by all targets by 10%. Warblade is going to be kind of like our execute move. Consumes up to 40 overcharge, dealing 44 damage and adding 0.2 damage for each point of overcharge used. So that's an extra 20 damage maybe? Something like that. No, hold on. 5.
Quick math!
Doesn't matter. He has a lot bigger overcharge pool, and he generates overcharge a lot. So, I'll actually go take a look at his abilities. So, Parry, Swift Strike, Cleave, Rally Strike, and Warblade, everything we're going over. His skills. So, a passive skill, he builds overcharge a lot faster and has a larger overcharge pool. His dungeon skills are Quick Step, a dash that avoids trap damage, and adds a massive haste buff to Garrison if he initiates combat with it. So, he can avoid traps, which is going to be useful in the first few dungeons. And then the haste buff is actually 100% increase to haste for the next battle. It's only for one turn though, which means so if you can kill one enemy in that one turn, it's going to be 100% more useful. So for this one, if any battle has that 3 skulls on it, it's a multi-battle. Or a multi-battle, my bad. So multi-battles are, depending on how many there are, could be up to 4 phases. And yeah, say just 2 green slimes. Nothing terrible. So, as you can see, we use Scatter Shot. We had 10 overcharge. Doesn't use any of our mana. With Garrison Oliver, our Cleave used 10 mana. No, Strip Strike, which is 15. Since Callie has 20, we're actually going to go ahead and heal himself. And then we'll do a cleave. And see, since it costs 15, now we have 135. 5 extra overcharge. So the main thing about Battle Chasers is managing your overcharge and managing what abilities to use next. So you might think, oh, a Healing Wave might be good, or a Taunt might be good, or a Shield might be good. It all depends on what the enemy is going to do next to counteract it. So, this is the town. And first place we're going to go to is actually the Collector. So, we exchange artifacts for Shadow Coins. So, since we don't have any artifacts, and we don't have any Shadow Coins either, we can just browse these things. Now, these items do get better, and he has a lot more as the game goes on. Right now, we have a very small amount of items. So, we have a weapon, Booty Blade. Has a Gold Finder perk, which increases Gold Found in combat by 20%. Reduces attack power, increases weapon damage, stamina increased by 18. Not bad. Requires level 10. We go for it from level 10. Weapons from the Collector are usually decent. They're not something to gawk over, but I mean, they're pretty good. And then we got armor. We got level 8 armor. Has a combustion effect on it, 10% chance on hit to deal 35 piercing magic damage. So piercing damage is damage that goes through damage mitigation. So let's say I have 50% damage reduction and something does 70 damage. That's only 35 damage. Whereas if it does 70 piercing damage, it does the full 70 damage. We got a ring here, it's another Gold Finder one. Got some potions, we got tombs, we got treasure chests as well. Fishing gear. Now, fishing isn't actually a huge thing in here. I mean, you can do it, but it's not something that's like a game-changing thing. Later on in the game, we're actually going to be fishing a lot more. We're going to be getting some Shadow Coins to get some better items. Also, we're going to be getting extra skins as well, just because they look cool. What we're really trying to get is these intros and outros ballots. These are going to be used for a hidden boss later on.
Together, they will thunder.
So that's the Collector. Next, we're going to the Chanter. So, well-made sign. Hangs on an old goggle on the door. It reads, "Out to lunch." We can either leave or rip the sign down. If you're up the side now, nothing really happens. Next time you talk to the Enchantress, once you get her back in town, she comments on it. It's not really story change, it's just a little bit of hidden dialogue. And we have Beastmaster Raha, one of the best characters.
Make it back.
Yeah, sometimes the NPCs talk, sometimes they don't eat too, which is, again, a little weird. Next we have the Cure Shop or the Alchemist, and this is a Qual. And look who it is.
Come on in.
Yeah, Dogen, he's fucking huge. Look at him. Those are legit logs right there.
Hungry? Don't be a stranger.
You're the townsmith?
Hey, who the hell are you?
That's a rough way to greet strangers.
Being strangers, you don't know how rough we get around here.
I suppose we're gonna learn quickly.
Aye, skin's got to be thick to survive in a forsaken land like this one. And your hammer better be heavy. Speaking of forsaken lands, how did you lot end up here?
We came in on an airship. As we approached, pirates ambushed us.
Seems right enough. Though not quite pirates, as you see. Bandits. Simple as that. Just thugs full of hot air. But they've been a right pain in the arse recently.
Bandits. Who do they work for?
Well, being bandits. Themselves, mostly. That said, they're acting differently the last few moons. Less scatterbrained. More organized. As a few of us left a bit worried.
We were separated from some friends during the battle. We think they may have them, or know where they are. We'd like to chat with them.
Chat. A few weaklings came by causing trouble last dawn. Chased them off down the south road. You can head that way, if you think you'll find your friends.
If we don't, they'll regret it.
Keep your head up. They must have a camp down there somewhere. There's work to do. Goodbye. Yep.
So,
I'll see you
what
later.
happens? So that is Grimbeard. He is our he's one of at least my more favorite characters. Just because he's very scruffy, very kind of to the point. All the characters in here look pretty cool. So the way I usually do runs or playthrough is that Garrison and Monica are mainly damage. Our 6th character and a goalie are our main tanks, and then Callie and kind of Nolan are going to be our support slash healer classes. So every level we more or less get a new ability, and then I think it's at level 5 we get our perks. So perks are essentially ability modifiers. So they increase healing done, reduce damage taken, give you more crit chance, more haste. You get to start with a shield, you get to start with more attack power. Now, depending on whose perk tree you're working with. And what you're trying to go for, it depends on what extra stuff that you get. So the way I like to build goalie is, of course, a tank that can crit. That way, even when she doesn't do a lot of damage, she can still crit for a lot of damage. I really don't have any AoE moves except scatter shot, cleave, those type of things. It's not until later on, like a few more levels, we get Rage Wave, which is Garrison's AoE ability. Then we get Earthquake, which is Goalie's AoE ability. Wildfire is Calibrito's AoE ability. AoE is area effect, so it affects more than one target. Like, Cleave hits more than one target, that's an AoE. Or a multi-hitter, I guess. I probably won't be able to do that. So Overcharge as well doesn't carry over one battle to the next unless you're, I guess, talent point or perk point into it. And even that into like 10, 15 maybe. Which isn't a lot, but that's essentially just one free ability. Yeah, so right when you press that invisible line, you get ambushed. And these dudes right here, the eviscerators, are the worst enemies starting off. Because they have a thorn mechanic, and they just do a lot of damage, and they crit like 30% of the time. When they crit for, 100 damage, when you only have, 180, 140, exactly 100 HP, kinda sucks. Yeah, when an ability like that crits every single time, it's not fun for anybody. Yeah, that ability hurts the most. Yep. Look at that. Rage Wave, Berry Swing, and Wildfire. Oh, we got a new sword. So, -4 bonus damage, but 10% chance to do 17 piercing with 3 turns. So weapon damage goes up, attack power goes a little bit down. That's a good trade-off. So, what's the little chest over here? We got another new weapon and a new chest piece. Let's see. Weapon damage is up, defense is down, attack power up, crit is up though, so yeah, more offensive than anything. This one, yeah.
I believe we found the bandit you chased out of town. In his possession was a letter we were unable to fully decipher.
Alright, let's have a look. There, ink looks fresh. Says something about an ancient weapon.
Anything else?
Outsiders arriving at the island, likely to, complicate things.
Outsiders? Does that mean us?
Well, it's hard to make out entirely. But it speaks of the Iron Outpost, that can be sure.
What's that? And where is it?
Mightiest military fortification south of the snows. Long abandoned. But bandits have been going in and out a lot lately. Sky's no way. Gate north of town is locked to keep people from wandering that way. Here's the key. Well, you look likely to survive. But just in case, I've got a fine weapon or two for sale here that may come in handy if the talking turns to fighting. Some others around town have useful wares as well. You might ask around, see what you can find. If they answer your knocks, that is. Oh.
So, we can also upgrade buildings. We can upgrade the smithy and the curio shop, and I'm not sure if you can upgrade the enchantress place as well. At the max level, you can actually use their facilities. But level 1, level 2, depending on the building, might be a level 3. You can't really do much, but they do have upgraded wares. So, right now we have 194 gold. Not a lot, but we'll have just about over 1,000, maybe over 1,500 by the end of the first dungeon. See, doesn't really have a lot. He has a nature's touch, which is pretty good. It's only a common, so it's whatever. Yeah, we can also see who it benefits. Let's go with benefit everybody because no one has a ring in any of their slots. Armor, you can also tell since it can only go to one person, you already know what the stats are going to be like. Weapon, same thing. It's only going to go to one person, so you know what it's going to be like. We really don't need anything
I'll see you later.
for him right now, so I'm not going to bother with it. Qual, though, go pay another visit.
Interesting. Oh.
So, Grimbeard also gave us a introduction blacksmithing book. It really doesn't matter who you give that to. Anyone in the party can essentially do it. But let's just say you have like Nolan, who obviously isn't here right now, and you have that you need something blacksmithed. He can still do it, so it doesn't really matter. First playthrough, I thought you needed like a certain person to learn certain skills, but you really don't. So, in this first dungeon, we're facing a lot of bandits, a lot of bandit machines as well, and I really don't like these fights where the enemy starts off stealth because you can't do anything. What we can do is just defense. We could use abilities. Anything that has an AoE ability, like Rage Wave, that doesn't require a target, you can automatically do it, but it's 25 mana. Really don't want to do that. And since everyone's defense, we're going to be taking out damage. Yeah. So if you do attack them while they're stealthed, as in you use like Wildfire or Rage Wave or some other AoE ability, it either targets more than one or it doesn't hit a target, then they become out stealth. They're only stealth until they become attacked or they are attacked. And look, we got a green. We got an uncommon. So, bonus damage and stamina. Let's give that to Garrison. So one thing in here that we'll be mentioning a lot is a thing called gear switching or item switching. Or gear optimizing or gear calibrations, anything like that. It's mainly just reallocating gear so that way everyone has up-to-date stats. So let's say Garrison's level 12, Goalie's level 12, and Bradley's everyone's level 12 in our party. And let's say, Garrison hasn't been with us in like 2 or 3 dungeons. No, his gear isn't really as optimized or as good as everyone else's in the parties. So we would take everyone out of the party, see what piece of gear would be the best for Garrison, and then optimize it so everyone has either equal gear or they have the right gear sets to make them good for the next dungeon, or at least good for the party. Well, let's say, Goalie and our second tank have very different stats. Let's say, Goalie has a full amount on, health and armor and everything. Everything's up to date with her. Our secondary tank doesn't have anything updated. He has no rings, no trinkets, no updated weapons, nothing. Then we would optimize the gears. That way, he does have the correct gear settings. Yeah, so until 5, I believe, Goalie doesn't get her taunt ability, which means anyone is liable for the same amount of damage. Oh, and debuffs and buffs don't carry on until the next battle unless they're shrine or food abilities. So this is going to be our first dungeon, and this is where we're going to cut it for right now. On our next episode, we'll be going through the Iron Outpost, seeing what artifacts are, and finding a little bit more about the story. So until then, I will see you guys later.